Hey everybody, how's it going? Today we're going to get started fixing a MacBook. This is an A1708 Macbook that doesn't turn on. Looks like the bottom has already been taken off, and we're going to get started. First thing I'm going to do is get my multimeter turned on here, so that I can display it on the screen. Beautiful, beautiful. We are going to get started. And it's going to be great fun. It's going to be great fun. We're going to fix a MacBook today. So the first thing that we usually like to do on these MacBooks when we are working with them is unplug the battery, which appears to have already been done, and then plug in the charger to see how many amps it's going to take. Will you attend the inauguration, Lewis? No, I have better shit to do. I have never attended a presidential inauguration. I got a business to run, I got a life to live, and no. Nope. Don't care. Okay, 20.4 volts, 19 to 20 milliamps going up and down. All right, so let's take the board out of the case and just do some of our basic due diligence. Now, do remember, the fact that we are getting 20 volts means the CD3215s are working, which means PP3 V3 underscore G3 hot is present, which means we are then going to check a different rail, the next rail on the G3 hot list, which is going to be PP bus G3 hot. Great sign, fake battery. It's not fake, it's just not original. Just not original. Don't be a battery bigot. Don't be a battery bigot. The original battery that came with this machine wasn't that great anyway, you battery bigot. Yeah, I'll show that. I'll show you that in a moment. For all you battery bigots out there that are just picking on the poor little battery just because it doesn't have an Apple logo. So this is an A1708 MacBook, right? And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. My battery's so much better than your battery. You have a Well, check this out. 13-inch MacBook Pro non-touch bar battery replacement program. Apple has determined that in a limited number of 13-inch MacBook Pro non-touch bar units, a component may fail, causing the built-in battery to expand. The original battery's no better, man. Come on. Come on. You fucking battery bigot. Ain't gonna be a bigot. There's certain types of bigotry we just don't accept on this channel. All right. Now, first thing I do, I'm going to look over the board, see if anything looks obviously wrong. And I can't see anything obvious, although I have lost much of my luster when it comes to board repair, because I have been focusing on management and other elements of running a business. Now I'm just a pretend board repair man. Well, the first thing I'm going to do here, as I go back to my pretend board repair, is go through the list of power rails. So this is an A20-00840 board. So we're going to open up Paul Daniels' amazing Flex Board View software that allows us to see all the points in the board that are important to us. I'm going to open that up right here, and we're going to see if this software works properly. Usually doesn't, particularly when Paul Daniels is in the chat, but you know, you never know. We may get a happy surprise today. It may actually do what it's supposed to do and allow us to do our job. One way to find out, folks. That's one way to find out. I have just opened the software, and right after opening the software, the board view appears to have disappeared from my screen, but the schematic is showing. That is hysterical. All right, let's try this again. And in addition, after I did that, the crackhead software does appear to be doing something funny to my multimeter. It doesn't seem like each piece of Paul Daniels software is compatible with the other piece of Paul Daniels software. They conflict with each other. But that's okay. That's okay. We're using Linux here at work, so it may not be that the problem is with Paul Daniels' software. It may be with the Linux. It's always possible. Okay, so we're going to go and we're going to find our list of power rails. That's what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is scroll on down. Where is my power rails page? Give me my power rails page. I can show people what I mean. When you don't have power, you want to check your power rails. Now, G3 hot, those are rails that are always on. S5, pretty much the same shit, rails that are always on. S4, these are going to be rails that are only on when the computer is hibernating, in addition to the G3 hot rails. So this is like a pyramid. So G3 hot, S5, then S4. The S3 rails are the rails that are going to be on when the computer is sleeping. So this is going to be powering the RAM. SO are rails that are on when the computer is actually on and working. So first thing I'm going to check, well, PP3v3 underscore G3 hot, we know that's there. Remember, the reason we know that's there is because we would not be getting 20 volts on the charger if these two chips, these CD3215s, were not able to speak to the charger and request it, and those chips are powered off of PP3v3 underscore G3 hot, which is created right there, which we know is present beyond a shadow of a doubt. Those rails are right there. And we're going to do this. I can even show you. I'll even show you for those of you that don't believe me, that think that I would lie about the voltage. Look at that. See, it's 3.4. 3.3, 3.4. It's a MacBook. It's not like accuracy is something that matters to them. But anyway, so we are going to see what other rails are present. Now, the next rail up on our G3 Hots list is the PP Bus G3 Hot. And PP Bus G3 Hot is going to be visible on a fuse in this area, right over here on F7000. We have PP Bus G3 Hot, so let's see what we get on PP Bus G3 Hot now, shall we? PP Bus on the fuse. 1 millivolt. That's lacking. So what we're going to do now is see if we have a short circuit on PP Bus G3 Hot, and what do we get here but a 0.7 ohm short. 0.7 ohm short. Okay, so now we're going to look through the board and see if we can find that 0.7 ohm short. You may say, Lewis, inject voltage and use a thermal camera? No! You are not my father. You are not my mommy. I am not going to do what you tell me to do. I will do it my way. I will look through the board myself. I am sick and tired of people telling me what I need to buy. I am not buying your damn thermal cam, and I honestly just don't want to get up to get the camera that I have. I'm beginning to feel bad for Paul Daniels. Well, he says that his software eats children. Well, I mean, it's always possible. I'm not saying that it does that. It's just people have told me, people have said things, and you never know. People have said things. I've heard that. I've heard rumblings. You tell me when you see something funky. You tell me when you see something funky. Do you see something funky over here? By the way, I started having some conversations with some of the people who work here who are better at their job than I am, and I so far have 2 checkboxes on I will follow you wherever you decide to go. I have one maybe if I have a guaranteed job. Another pretty excited to, but if it's a specific area of Florida near the beach where there's girls. That's kind of 4. I'm just not sure how much I want to go to Florida, though. Because no state income tax is pretty cool. But the tax is not the big. It's not the big thing. That's not it. It's hot all the time. There's no CMs. They have all sorts of crazy fucking bugs in Florida. Is that a crack in that cap, or am I just seeing things? I don't know. Maybe I'm just seeing things. Ooh, what's that? Hello. Yeah, here's the thing. I don't think that what I see right there would cause a PP bus short. Too many New York assholes. Yeah, a lot of people are migrating from New York to Florida, so that means that Florida will eventually become New York. Then again, it may not become New York because the people leaving New York for Florida are people that are leaving New York because they know why New York sucks, therefore they would not turn Florida into New York. So it's kind of, it could be, it could be a go either way there. Either way, I'm going to make a note of this. So PP Bus G3 Hot is the rail that's shorted to ground, and when you take a look, there is this resistor that looks pretty exploded right by the chip that makes PP Bus G3 Hot. So I don't think that's going to be the cause of our short by any stretch of the imagination, but I would still like to explore what that is. I kind of want to find a part of the country where people are normal. Like, I don't want to... I think I got tired of the ideological possession that I see from people in New York City towards their particular end or like their particular belief system, but I realize that it's not like it gets better in other sections of the country. It's just they're ideologically possessed in the opposite direction. and I'm so used to dealing with this level of ideological possession that I'm not used to dealing with the other. Okay, so it looks like this is actually a blown current sensing circuit. So this is pretty much the same principle as in all the ISL6259 blown current sensing circuits. It just looks a little bit different here. So any of you who are familiar with the ISL6259 current sensing circuit and stuff I've discussed in other videos would understand what's going on here. So this is from USB-C source. Over here, let's just make this full screen so that you can see the entire thing. I will have the entire window on display here. So this is from USB-C source. From USB-C source means that's from the charger. And this circuit is going to take your 20 volts from the charger and turn it into PP bus G3 hot, which is going to be your 12 or 13 volt line. Now, this is a resistor. It's a really tiny resistor. It's a 0.01 ohm resistor. So it's not doing a lot of resisting. This is not doing a lot of resisting. But there is going to be a different voltage from here to here. There's going to be a teeny tiny bicicleta, as Cartman would say, of a voltage drop from there to there. And that voltage drop is going to be directly correlated to and dependent on the amount of amperage or wattage the system is using, how many watts it's using. So what the ISL 9239 is going to do here is it is going to check and see what is the voltage on this side of the resistor, what is the voltage on this side of the resistor. And once it knows what the voltage is on this side of the resistor and this side of the resistor, then it will be able to know what the how much amperage the entire system is taking. So it's kind of like you're putting your hand in the stream. So you're trying to figure out how fast the water is moving through a stream. You can't really tell without putting your hand in the stream. And this resistor is kind of like the ISL 9239's way of putting its hand in the stream and feeling the water pressure, or in this case, the amount of current or electricity going through the circuit. Now, the resistor that's exploded looking over here, when we go back over here, the resistor that's exploded looking, these two, this is R7021 and R7022. And R7021 and 7022 are the resistors that sit between the current sense resistor and the ISL 9239 chip. Now, typically, these resistors, these 1 ohm resistors, they're not going to blow because they just decided to go bad. They're going to blow because something else died. So what else here? What here is going to die? And specifically, what in this area is going to die that PP bus G3 hot has something to do with? So this chip creates PP bus G3 hot. It probably has got some point in this thing. It's got PP bus G3 hot going through it in some way. And simultaneously, these two resistors also are destroyed, which means they're probably shorted to ground as well. So PP bus G3 hot is shorted to ground, and the two things that these resistors are connected to, the U7000, is shorted to ground, which makes me wonder, is U7000 what is causing my short to ground? And that's what we're going to check out here. So I'm pretty sure if we were to check on pin 2 of each of these resistors that we would see short to ground. So let's see if that's the case. I'm going to put the multimeter on the screen. I'm going to put the amazing Paul Daniels multimeter software back on the screen. You can check them out at pldaniels.com. And we're going to see if there's a short on each side. Now on this side, there's a 7 kiloohms to ground. That is not a short. And over here, you have 400 kiloohms to ground. That is not a short. Now let's see if the resistors themselves are actually good. The resistor itself is 1.4 ohms, so that resistor is not bad. And then you check this resistor here. This resistor is 12 million ohms, so that is bad. That kind of blows my theory really to bits and pieces. So everything that I just said, everything that I thought, is actually wrong. I thought that the ISL 9239 would have been shorting this to ground, but it actually does not appear to be shorting it to ground at all, which really then begs the question, did this resistor blow out of the blue? Or potentially what could be happening here is this resistor gets shorted to ground by the ISL 9239, but that short only happens when the ISL 9239 turns on. This is what we call an active short. This means that the short circuit is only present when there's power going through it, which means I'll never be able to measure it because I can't measure resistance in a circuit with electricity going through it with the multimeter, which means that I must guess that it is there with my mind without evidence, and then just assume that that's what's going to, that I'm correct. So there's a few things I could do here. I could inject voltage. Sure, I could inject voltage. I mean, if it makes you feel better, I could inject some voltage, but I'm not convinced it's going to solve my problem. I'm not convinced that that's necessarily the way I should go about this just yet. And inject voltage and try to see what gets warm. Not quite sure. Not quite sure. But we'll see. Brahim, that this is true of every country. We're just the one that's the most on television right now with it. Yeah, we got all eyes on us. What's normal, Lewis? I don't know. When I think about it, I'd like to go find some place where people are not ideologically possessed. I'd like to find some place where there's no Team Red and Team Blue, but I don't know if I'm going to find that anywhere in the country. I really don't know if I'm going to find that at this point. Maybe there are. It's possible. I want to find some place where people live out their lives in peace. Okay, so let's see. I'm going to just see if the ISO 9239 gets hot. So I'm going to find a nice juicy PP Bus G3 hot point over here, and we're going to put some power through it. All right, guys? Ready? 1, 2. But I'm honestly kind of happy and a little bit excited that I've got people here that are willing to go. Because the thing is, a year and a half ago, it would have been a definite no. Even a year ago, I'm pretty sure that would have gotten me an obvious no. Because I'm always kind of feeling it out there. But now there are certain things that are starting to change where I think there's actually a standing chance of getting people that work here to say, yeah, I'll follow you someplace that's not New York. You know, I was happy I was able to just start probing and checking around a little bit more and planting. Yeah, I could have a smaller place in New York for the remaining dwindling walk-in business from the city. And the majority, which is now mail-in, could be somewhere else. But it needs the people. Like, I'm not starting from scratch finding new people. Like, fuck that, seriously. Anybody who thinks that it is easy to find new people in this bit, like, I'm surrounded by, right now, in 10 to 15 mile radius or so, like 15 mile radius about, there's 8 million people, and I could just barely find 5 people worth of shit at board repair. You want me to do that somewhere else? Oh, hell no. Anyway, so we're going to go and check out the owie test right now. Let's see if I can get this to... Okay, I'm going to attach this. All right, we got some amperage going through, and now it is time for the owie test. Give it a second. You can move to Peoria, and have your overhead so low you could afford to pay your employees to move with you. Ooh, that's the smell of tantalum. Smell that, guys? I hope that we get to a point somewhere with technology where you guys can smell what I smell on stream. The smell of a tantalum cap cooking when you're looking for a short is incredibly satisfying. Just have to figure out which one it is. Which one it is. Yeah, but is that Jersey? Oh, hell no. Get out of here for Jersey. No. You guys are like just as fucked, if not more fucked, as New York. No. Fuck that. Not moving to a sinking ship. No moving to a sinking ship. I'm on a sinking ship. I'm not moving to another one. Get out of here. There's no amount of money you could pay people to leave. Okay, I shouldn't say that. There's probably an amount of money you could pay people to be willing to leave their family. It's just not an amount of money that I'd be able to afford. But there's a difference between here's your first, last, and deposit on a new apartment plus a moving truck versus here's what, leave your family behind. Here's the amount of money that makes it worth it. Go for Baltimore. Oh yeah, get out of here. No, thank you. Again, we're not going from one sinking ship to another. No. I've been on this sinking ship for 32 years, man. I'm not going for one. Hell no. Someplace that's on the upswing. It's hard to tell where in America, what places in America are on the upswing. So many that are on the downswing. So many red and blue areas that are on the downswing. This is weird. I smell the tantalum. I know it's roasting. Show yourself roasting tantalum. Jessa suggests that scrotum skin works well detecting heat. That's not a great idea. That's kind of scary. That is kind of scary. Thanks for fighting for right to repair. Thank you for saying that, although I haven't really won or gotten anywhere with it, so I don't think I'm worthy of a thank you just yet. Thank me when I accomplish something. How about that? We'll make a deal. You can thank me once I've actually accomplished something worthwhile that changes your life or your business for the better. Until then, I can't accept it. I can't accept it. Zoltan says Mexico. Oh, come on. All right, we're gonna use the face now. The face is more sensitive skin. But I'm not gonna use the other part of my face. I'm gonna use the chin. All right. This is not social distancing. This MacBook now has the capability to give me COVID. Ooh. Oh. Okay, now is it this side of the board or the other? I think it's that ISL 9239. I'm going in. But then again, it's not enough of an ow. It's not enough of an ow. Damn. What a troll. I know, I don't have the thermal camera software because this computer uses Linux. And even then, it kept fucking with my computer. We rescind our thanks, says Dave Oscillation. That's all I'm asking. I think it's inside the board. Nope. That's... Alright. Oh. Let's see. Yeah, that thermal camera was driving me nuts. It kept doing this thing where when I would run it, it would turn off my internet. And it was just becoming aggravating. Alright. Ow. Ow! It's this fuck. This thing. This. Yeah. I put it off a little too long. You know that's never the one that actually fails. It's always the one that's on the right-hand corner somewhere. It's never that cap that fails, so I didn't think to... Really, I didn't think to check it. I didn't think, which really kind of defines most of my life, particularly my stock portfolio. But let's remove that and go from there. You have 2 people from Peoria in chat. You've been outvoted. Come to Peoria. Is Peoria Jersey or Illinois? I'm being an idiot. This is what I get for going to public school and learn my geography. Peoria. Okay, that is Illinois. I don't know about Illinois, man. Okay, my bad. I called Peoria Illinois instead of calling it in Jersey instead of calling it Illinois. Oh, there is a bunch of Peorias in Jersey. Yeah, there's Peoria Lane. That's what I was thinking of. I don't know about Illinois, man. I don't know about Illinois. I don't know. Illinois gives me the... I don't got the best feeling about it. Use this thermal imaging camera that Paul Daniels uses. It even works on Linux. I got enough Paul Daniels on this system. You want me to put more Paul Daniels on this system? Really? How much do you want this thing to crash? Oh, man, how did I miss this? You can even see when I put the flux on it that the cap is cracked in the top. You see this shit? Look at this cap. It was cracked. It's cracked. I could almost fit my tweezer under there. You know why I missed it? It's because I'm a moron. That's why. So what made you move from Florida to Illinois? Across the country to Oregon. I don't know about Oregon. Definitely don't know about Oregon. Alright, now who votes that I should complete the repair without checking if the short circuit has been removed? Who thinks I should just run with it and see if this works without even confirming the short is removed? I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. Big brain move right here. Biggest brain. Emporia, it would play. Thank you, Alex. I really appreciate it. Okay, that's a lot of people telling me to just put the cap on and turn it on, so I'm going to do that. The voters win in the chat. You guys all win. That is some pretty horrible soldering there, so we are going to put some flux and make it beautiful. Let's give it a moment. This will look like a fine piece of art. Now we've pushed down on the cap because I want it to be nice and flat on the board. There's a problem I noticed with a lot of the trainees and newbies is they don't get the item flat on the board. If the item is sticking up off the board, then there is chance for screwery, or for it to pop off, or if it's a QFN, for it to not actually be connected properly. A nice joint there. Now remember, this is Rossmann repair, so this is just going to work. By the way, the board yesterday, C7615, was actually causing it to not turn on. Finally understand why that video I did yesterday got all those downvotes. It finally clicked! It was C7615. I called it a dead CPU. I lied to you all. I lied. That's obvious. I told you all it was a dead CPU when it was just C7615. That video deserves 50% downvotes. Oh, man. I had some fun making it. I was filled with beta-alanine when I put in that title. That stuff is really good. Have any of you used beta-alanine for your workouts? I haven't used that since pre-pandemic because, what was I saying? I haven't used that since pre-pandemic because I used to... Oh, shit, I didn't replace the current sense resistor. I'm a fucking idiot. Remember the current sense resistor that blew? Yeah. Because I used to go to this place called Eva's on, I think, around 8th Street and 5th Avenue. They had some really nice health food. It was a really good spot for anybody who wants to lose weight or bulk up or, just eat something that's kind of healthy. And they used to have this really good beta-alanine supplement there. And I used to pick it up. And when I stopped going there, I just stopped picking it up. So when I started working out again, I stopped using it. Most of the supplements that I've tried are like useless shit. But the amino acid one mixed with the beta-alanine one, like, my God, that shit makes you feel like Bloodlust in Warcraft 2. I feel like an ogre mage has just cast Bloodlust on me when I take that shit. Obviously, go see your doctor or any crap like that before you take any of those workout supplements. But holy shit. Like, every workout I've done this week, I have felt like a supercharged fucking madman. And... I got in 6 deadlifts yesterday at 300, which is, again, it's not the best. Pre-pandemic, I was able to do 6 to 7 deadlifts at 325. So I got some ways to go before I'm back where I was before I had several weeks of not working out. You know, with Cuomo, it's much more important that everybody gets corona and dies in a nursing home or gets COVID in their home rather than getting it from a gym, so that he can pretend that he saved lives, even though we have some of the shittiest death numbers in the country. But so I got myself a home gym, and now I finally found the missing component. Now that I got my beta-alanine, that shit makes your entire face itch. I forgot what that stuff. It makes your face itch. It makes my muscles itch. It makes my ear itch. It makes my knees itch. Any part of my body that has a muscle in it itches after taking that stuff. But it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Why did the current sense resistor blow? I have no idea. Usually it blows when the ISO 9239 shorts it to ground, but in this case the ISO 9239 was not shorting it to ground unless it was an active short, which I'll determine when I go to turn this thing on right now. No, Paul, I think I finally got past that. Here we go, 586 milliamps, so this thing is turning on and good to go. We just got to run this baby through the ultrasonic cleaner and test everything else, and it's good. So this board had a short to ground on PP-Bush D3 hot. After solving the short on PP-Bush D3 hot, we also had to solve the fact that there was a current sense resistor blown by the ISL 9239, which usually blows when the ISL 9239, ISL 659, or ISL 658 shorts to ground the current sense line, but here that line was not shorted to ground, so I have no idea what that resistor blew, but we replaced it anyway, and now it works, so we have a beautiful board. That's it for today, and as always, I hope you learned something. See you all in the next video. Bye now.